Hi, it's Double1975, and today I'm doing a simple video looking at rare trading. This is an introduction to rare trading for newer players. I'm using a Type 6 to do this, and this is the map of what I'll be doing. It looks quite complicated, but whoever designed this map was very clever, and it's very simple to follow. They obviously took inspiration from the London Underground map or something of that ilk. It's a very great diagram to follow. I will leave a link in the description to it. I wish I could credit its creator, but I honestly don't know who created it. It's been around longer than I've been playing Elite, and I've seen a lot of people take credit for it. So I am not 100% sure who really created it, but I would love to thank them. They are a lifesaver. It's a very good map to follow. It's a little out of date with some of the amounts that you get for certain rare goods, but on the whole, it's a really good map to follow. Now, all you need to go rare trading is a ship with a decent range. So when I say range, how far you can go before you have to refuel. You want about 200 light years. A stripped out D-rated Cobra will be quite good for this. You can use a ship with a fuel scoop if you know, a Type 6 D-rated with a decent jump range and a fuel scoop, you'll do it fine. You can even do it in a hauler to start with, but you just won't be able to trade large amounts of rare goods. But the key to rare goods, basically they're individual items that are specific to certain stations. Now, they are usually themic and they're usually linked to the station they come from. For example, Ridley Scott's orbital, or whatever it's called, produces leathery eggs, which if you read the description are actually a film prop. So it's kind of a nice nod to Alien. Now, with these rare goods, they increase in value the further you take them away from their station of origin. So you want to go at least 120 light years before you sell them. They will double the galactic average for these products. So you will make large profit per ton if you take them the distance you need. And that's the whole point. The whole point of the rare trade map is you collect a load of rare goods from one end, take it to the other end, sell them all, and then take another load of rare goods from the other end and take it back to the first end. The reason it works is because of the large distance between the two clusters of places that do the rare goods. It means you can maximize your profit per ton, and also because there's a little clump of places that have decent rare goods, they're all quite close together. It's easy to pop around and collect your rare goods. Now, to increase your profits when you're doing this and following the map, I would take missions that are complementary to it, i.e. missions to go into stations you'll be visiting further down the line. If you're in Lave, for example, it's quite easy to look on the mission board and find missions going to 2 or 3 of the stations you will be visiting. There is a pain that they may change the destination on you, but that's something you just have to cope with. The thing to watch out for when you're plotting your route from one end to the other is to make sure it's a bold line. If it's a dotted line, it means you're going to run out of fuel, so you will need to filter the map for somewhere you can refuel along the way. Basically filter it by population, look for a place that's, you know, just before you're going to run out of fuel with a decent population. Check the station does refueling, otherwise you'll be calling the fuel rats for a rescue. As long as it's a nice bold line like that, you're good to go. And that's what you need, just a ship with a decent range. Not as in jump range in particular, but as in how long before you have to refuel. You obviously do want jump range because you don't really want to be doing 20-30 jumps to get from one end to the other. This is all about trying to get around the loop as quick as possible, take as many complementary items as possible. And I will show you now that even with the small quantities, because I only picked up one lot of things and I didn't even do any complementary missions, but even with the small quantities I picked up on this run, and I only did 4 of the top run before I ran out of cargo space, you'll see the profits per ton. I'll show you now when I get to the other end, and it's pretty reasonable. It's good for a starting player. Obviously there are better ways or easier ways to make money in the game, but I would recommend doing this to start with. It's something worth doing if you're a new player, because it will take you around some of the iconic locations in Elite Dangerous and some of the places that are very tied to the lore of the game. I'm doing a second video where I look at this in more detail and go into whether I think it's worth doing, whether the rare trading still stacks up against other ways of trading, when I do it in a bit more in depth. But as you can see from the profits I'm making, the actual rare goods do actually make reasonable profits per ton. And that's all for this video. It's just an introductory to the rare trade route, and look in the description for a link to the map. And that's all. Thank you very much for watching.